Hey friends, welcome to Nadia's Crafty Corner, and today we're going to make these adorable fake bake foam clay candy corn. I'm going to show you two different ways I make them. The first one is with a styrofoam cone. I have two here. You can use any size you want. We're going to start with the styrofoam cone that I'm simply going to cut with a knife, a rolling pin, some glue, and of course, air dry foam clay. I'm going to use the traditional colors, but you can use any color you want. We're also going to use Mod Podge to apply sprinkles or iridescent glitter that I've used in this video. So let's get started. You want to make sure you have a clean surface and go ahead and cut your cone in half. My cone has a line and I'm following that line to cut through the middle so that one side of my candy corn is going to be flat. And of course, you want to make sure you clean your area once you cut your styrofoam. I'm going to start with the yellow, which is the base of the bottom of our candy corn. And I always have some containers handy, especially when I'm working with multiple colors. So you want to go ahead and condition your clay. And I'm going to start by just rolling it down and making a not so thick strip. I'm going to just eyeball my size. I want to stay with a 1-inch mark. So there's my 1-inch strip that I'm going to use. Once we have done that, I like to make it a little thinner, but once you have done that, go ahead and apply the glue. Now, I prefer to put the glue one section at a time, but if you feel that you want to put it all the way, go ahead. And I do not put glue in the back of my project, okay? So staying with my 1-inch mark, I'm going to lay my clay and cut the extra and go ahead and bring it to the back and allow some extra because once dry, the clay will shrink. When you're wrapping your clay on the bottom, keep in mind if you want to use a straw or put a pick on your candy corn, you want to leave room for that, okay? So that's our first section done. The same way, I'm going to go ahead with the orange color and make a second strip the same way. Just condition your clay, roll it out with a rolling pin. All the tools that I'm using are left over from my cake decorating days, so I'm getting extra use out of everything. So we're going to go ahead and make another strip. Now, when you apply the second color, you do want to overlap to your previous color a little bit. And at the same time, so go ahead and apply the glue again. Not to the back. The back, I'd rather leave it clean so that any extra clay that I cut off can be reused and it's not dirty with glue. Make sure you overlap a little bit, and as you press down gently, you want to make sure that you gently press down the orange over the yellow to eliminate the little bump. We don't want a step in between the two colors. So just work it together so that you create a smooth change of color. There we go. We're going to go ahead and work with the white. And again, we're going to condition our clay and work it the same way. Apply your glue. Now, when I work with my white, I want to make sure that my candy corn is not extremely pointy. I like the point, but not so pointy, if that makes sense. So the way I finish off and apply the clay is just a little different. So overlap to the orange. But now when I clean it off, I don't focus too much on the back, but I focus more on the front so that, and there we go. I'm trying to show you that if you work your clay, you avoid the steps in between colors. And my point, I am rounding it and it's not so pointy. That's the way I prefer my candy corn, but it's entirely up to you. Once that's all done, we can go ahead and cover it with glitter if you want. And in the same manner, you can use sprinkles if you have them. I'm going to apply Mod Podge all over my project. And once done, I'm going to sprinkle my iridescent glitter. That's what I chose now, but you can use any color that you prefer, or sprinkles. When I do the sprinkles, I do one section at a time simply because I want them the right side up, or I want them to look a certain way. If you wanted to insert a dowel or a straw in your project, you can go ahead and do that at the beginning or at the end. It's entirely up to you. This project, I will not be using it with a straw or a stick, so I'm leaving it like that. For the back, I would like to point out that I prefer to do that once my clay is dry, and then I use foam sheets or any kind of backing that you prefer for your project. The other way I have to make the candy corn is using just clay, okay? So I always keep a visual pattern in front of me to maintain the shape or whatever it is. I'm going to condition it and make like a little block. The thickness of it is entirely up to you and how you want your project. Again, I am doing this without using a backing to it, but you can most certainly mount this on foam. I prefer to do that at the end once my foam clay is dry and I have perfect right measurements. As I'm laying my yellow, we want to keep in mind that our shape kind of goes in as we go up. So I am forming my shape as I go along, maintaining the same thickness throughout. And I'm keeping it at about 1 inch. So if it goes a little bit over 1 inch or 1.25 inches, then I just cut. Once I'm ready with my second color, we repeat the same steps. Now, I didn't bring them close to me. However, you can insert, you can use toothpicks in between one color and the other. So I'm just making sure that my clay is almost the same thickness and the same size. Also keep in mind that as we curve our orange, because of course the orange is going to be smaller, you're going to have to cut off some extra. So go ahead and apply the glue once you're ready to join the two colors. And the toothpick, if you want the two colors to be joined with a toothpick. So here now we start the game of modeling our clay and bringing our candy corn to form a shape that, we are happy with, right? Want to make sure that there is not major step or detachment, if you will, in between the two colors. So here is where we kind of play with it a little bit. And look at that, just with the glue, it is staying together. We're going to go ahead and form the white the same manner. Condition your clay. Make your little block. And start forming it, start bringing it to the pointy shape, which for me personally, it's not too pointy, but it's a little rounded, if you will. So you're going to keep playing with this until you feel that proportionate wise, it looks appealing and that it looks proportionate. So this takes a little bit of, trying, modeling, trying. See, I just cut off a little piece because it was coming too tall. And again, just keep playing with it. Again, if you wanted to insert toothpicks between the orange and the white, this would be a good time to do so as well. I'm just demonstrating. I won't be using this, so I am not so concerned with the stability of the piece itself. So go ahead and keep on making it so that it looks uniform and it does not look like 3 separate blocks. So it does take a little bit of playing with it. As I'm doing this, I'm going to take the opportunity to give you guys a couple of pointers. So I found that using cooling racks that I used to use for cookies and cakes definitely helps a lot in the drying process of my foam clay objects. And especially in this case, where it's foam clay through and through, you definitely want to make sure that you have it up on a cooling rack so that it gets air from all over and the bottom doesn't stay too wet. In this case, what I'm showing is I'm making little balls and then I am playing with them to make a teardrop, okay? I'm doing it in white and I didn't have it close to me, but you can make a little black dot. And once you place them, they look like 2 cute little eyes. Listen, I am not a good painter. I can color, but I cannot paint. But if you are a good painter and you feel confident in your artistic drawings, then you can go ahead and paint eyes and whatever else you might want. But just something, I didn't go straight at all. Now I'm seeing it, but just a different ways. And you could put the 2 little eyes with the 2 black dots and a cute little bow, like different ways to finish it off. I sure hope this little video helped you, and I sure hope to see many pretty candy corns. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye.